Hey guys, welcome back. Today is our 9-week check-in. I have been now on YouTube for 9 weeks. So I know if you have joined me this week, then you have probably seen my 2-month analytics check-in. So that is a little bit different, that we look at the hard numbers and see where everything is. If you're interested in that, I will put that up here. This week-long check-in is basically just to talk about how the week went as a creator. When I was considering YouTube, I thought that that would be something that would be very interesting to me, that not a lot of people did. So I thought I would get on here and do those kind of check-ins. So let's talk first about what went well this week, or what we did this week, actually. So this week on Saturday, I did a video about our Japanese planners better than American planners. We looked at my Hobonichi, we looked at my Sterling Ink planners. I have 2 years of each of those, and we kind of compared and contrasted the differences to figure out which planner would be best for which type of person and their planning needs. So that video actually was something that was trendy and was recommended by YouTube Studio. So I was on YouTube Studio. I looked at what was trending. That was one of the topics that was trending. And I thought, well, I have the equipment and the knowledge to do one of those videos. So I'll go ahead and do one of those. Uh, then the next day on Sunday was my Plan With Me Live. We do that every Sunday. You guys are welcome to join me. That is always fun. I'm always planning my day or my week on Sunday anyway. And so I love having you guys come and join me for those. Uh, on Monday, we talked about YouTube strategies, or we talk about YouTube skills typically on Monday. And so this particular Monday, we did a content calendar in Notion. That was a bit challenging because my Notion templates are always evolving. I am always adding to things and refining and tweaking. And so I had it at a point where it's a very usable template, and it's something that certainly for a small creator could be very, very helpful. But I will continue to tweak that in future videos, and we will make that even more efficient for you. And so if you joined me for that, you should have a workable content calendar. If you don't feel like making the content calendar yourself, you can always download it from the description in the video. There's a place to, save it to your Notion as well. On Tuesday, we had the blackout journal. I originally was going to do like 3 spreads in the blackout journal, and the video just got too long. So it is the initial spread, doing that cover page with a bunch of different washi and how to create kind of that dashboard look that seems to be so popular. I did continue to make the other spreads, so I will add those in upcoming weeks, the other spreads that I was hoping to make, so those are coming up. And so there will definitely be more time in the blackout journal. I created a playlist for that, so if you're interested, you can always hop over there and save the playlist, and then you'll be notified, I believe, when something drops on that. I also had another art short. This particular one was the grassy beach on the lake. And what can I say? I absolutely love this one. Beaches are kind of my happy place. And so getting to draw a beach with a nice sunset, but not a really intense sunset, kind of a calm and relaxing sunset, was really kind of nice. I definitely enjoyed it. The beach grass does take quite a while to draw and to get right, but it is well worth it in the end because it just looks almost photographic, and I love that. Then we did the 2-month analytics check-in. That was only 2 days ago, so I'm sure you guys are, if you've been following the channel, are pretty familiar with that. And then the magical readathon was supposed to be up yesterday. And then I had internet troubles yesterday, and it did not come back on until after I went to bed. So that will be uploaded today. However, I went to upload the original file, and it is not good. The sound is off, and I always watch the videos before I upload them just to make sure that you guys are getting good quality sound and good quality visuals and that there's nothing weird or unusual about the video. And for some reason, whenever I decide to talk about the Magical Readathon, something happens to the video. So I will be filming that again today, and you will get that today in probably a more well thought out version because I've done it before. So it should flow a bit more smoothly this time, I would hope. And then today, of course, we're doing our 9 weeks check in on YouTube. So what went well and what didn't? Well, the Japanese planners versus American planners, because it was a trending topic and it was something that YouTube told me was a trending topic. I was able to do that in a timely fashion right when YouTube suggested it to me, and that did take off pretty well. It's gotten over 1,000 views so far. In fact, let's look at the piece of content right now. It has just over 1,200 views right now. That is significantly higher than most of my videos do on this channel. I am used to being in the under 100 range on videos. I have had quite a few videos that have gotten up into the 100 to 200 range, and a handful that have gotten upwards of 500 views. But for the most part, my videos are getting 0 to 100 views per video. And that's normal and that's fine, and I'm happy with that. But the Japanese planners versus American planners did get higher view count. And I do think that is because it was a trendy video. Now, am I going to start following all the trends? No, because that's not what I'm about here. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't really think there's very much that is trendy about me. So I am not chasing trends. I look at what YouTube says is trending. If it is a topic that I do have some knowledge on and I believe that I can add to the conversation, then I will go ahead and post on that. But otherwise, I will not be following trends. You don't have to worry about me suddenly trying to turn into, a Mr. Beast. That's not happening. Uh, I am definitely not on the trendy side. Uh, today, Later today, you'll see my washi selection for this coming Sunday's Plan With Me live. Um, so that is also posted. The washi selection videos are going well. I can do those a little bit ahead because I can kind of select and get excited about the washi, and then it kind of helps me think about what I want to do with a particular spread. So that's coming up. Um, Later on today also. I had forgotten about that one. The other things that I kind of stumbled along with this week were the Notion setup. I have watched a lot of Notion setup videos because I have used Notion for years now, probably going on 4 or 5 years at least. It's been part of my day-to-day life. I have introduced it to a lot of different people. I know how to do a lot of things that I know how to do in it. However, I have never considered myself to be an expert at it. So making a video and creating a video where I walk you through a process on Notion was a very new thing to me. I think that I probably bit off a bit more than I could chew by creating this extensive content calendar. Well, it's something that was easy and process that I needed to go through for myself, that may not have been the best place to start in doing kind of a almost programming tutorial, because Notion is kind of a self-created and self-programmed website. And so if you followed along with that and you liked it, that's great. I'm going to try and refine that particular template in some of the ways that I've refined it. So adding different templates within it and things like that to make it more useful. And so if you followed along with that, that's great. I will try at some point to create some other Notion videos doing some more basic things. I know I did have a couple of people reach out and ask if there was a template on my personal desk that I start with, and I do not have a template for that. I have not shown anyone how to create that yet, but I would be happy to do that. So I will look into creating some more of those and getting better at being very concise and kind of walking you through the process a little bit slower for people who may be newer to that. So that it went well, but at the same time, I felt a little overwhelmed by doing a software tutorial like that. Especially on the internet where I don't have that feedback. I am used to helping people one-on-one with software, but when you're on the internet and you don't have that immediate feedback of people asking questions when you're maybe not explaining things as clearly, that can make things very challenging. The blackout journal I loved doing. That was something a little bit different. It is not going to be a weekly planner type journal. It's going to be more of an informational journal for myself. And so it's something a little bit different, but still kind of in the same vein. For example, I will be doing the 12 moons of the year because it is a celestial bodies journal. I'll be doing the 12 months of the year, and that spread could easily be translated into a weekly spread for people that are interested in something like that. So if the blackout journal felt like it was something different, but along the same lines. The magical readathon, for some reason, the universe just does not want those videos to happen, at least not in their first iteration. So once again, I am filming it, a second time, and that's okay, but that does put a lot of pressure on me, and it feels overwhelming, as do some of the tech issues. When you are just starting out and still fairly new and still really learning things and uncomfortable with things, when the internet suddenly goes out and, it's and you can't make it work, it can get very, very frustrating. So, um, and hard on a newer channel because you don't have the toolkit to always be pivoting. Sometimes it feels like through this 9 weeks, I've been doing a lot of pivoting and making things work. And it feels like sometimes it shouldn't be that challenging. Now, the amount of videos that I'm putting out, because I'm putting out a video every single day, that's probably why it feels so challenging and that pace feels so kind of not, I don't want to say stressful, but pressuring. Um, I'm learning everything on a very fast pace versus someone who is perhaps posting one video a week or one video every 2 weeks. I am kind of throwing myself into this wholeheartedly so that I can really learn quickly and learn by doing. And so that is something that I find often ends up challenging me. So that's kind of how this week felt. It was overall a good week, but a challenging one. I did have quite a few job interviews for those of you who are interested on follow-ups of those. The job search spreads that I did, if you haven't seen those, I talk about getting laid off, and then I talk about my job search, and I make those spreads. I'll link that up here. my most recent one. And then I did have several interviews this week. They were all supposed to be a half hour, and all of them went over an hour and a half. Uh, two of those were on site, and so that also had driving time on either side, and then, of course, preparing ahead of time for the interview, making sure that I'm reviewing the company and, who they are, who I'm talking to, and what the job is that I'm talking about. Um, so that did take quite a bit of time out of my week. However, I am hoping to have a full-time job soon, which will take a significant chunk out of my week as well. So I need to be able to be ready to do YouTube around that as well. So, it's a challenge, and when regular life comes into play, but at the same time, that is reality, and that is something that if you want to create on YouTube, you have to be working through. And so that is something that I am working through at this point. Um, so let's talk a little bit about what is coming up. um, I've got another week coming, and I know tomorrow I will be dropping a video that I know a lot of you are very excited about, and that is the favorite spreads from past journals. I look through my big stack of journals from the last 10 years, and I go through bullet journals and Hobonichi and Sterling Ink, and we look at all of those journals and look at some favorite spreads. Why I talk a lot about why I think they work and why my planning style evolved over time and what elements of my planning style make it successful for me. So if that is something that interests you, then definitely stay tuned for that video. We'll have another Plan With Me live Sunday morning at 9:30 Central Time. So I would love for you to join me there. We will add in some things to our Notion template on Monday. So we will be adding in some text to do boxes in the main body, and then we will add templates to kind of fill out and customize some of those things for a long form video, a short form video, a live, things like that to be a little bit different, so that you can have some templates that hopefully will work well for you and for your channel. And that'll save you time working with that Notion template. So the template itself works just fine right now, but if you add in little other templates to that, that will help you do things quicker. So we're going to make that more efficient, that content calendar. I'm going to have another blackout spread for you. I will do another alternate vertical spread in the Just Scribble plans for probably. I think I'll do this week's one. It was kind of way out there when I did it, and so I did do it. I did film the Plan With Me. I haven't posted it yet because it is kind of way out there. I had taken the washi and gone diagonal with it, and it it got a little in the weeds, but I think overall I really like it, and it was kind of a cool, different way to do that. So I think I will share that next week. I am also working through Preptober right now because if you have followed along on most of my videos, you probably know that I am writing a novel, and I'm trying to get that first draft done by the end of the year, which means I'm going to probably participate in NaNoWriMo this year. NaNoWriMo, for those of you who are not into the writing world, is the National Novel Writing Month. And you take the first couple letters from each of those and you get NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. The goal is to write 50,000 words in the month. Ideally, if you're doing a true nano, you're supposed to write 50,000 words on a new work in the month of November. However, I have my work in progress. My goal will be to get 50,000 words into that work in progress during the month of November. And so hopefully um, that will be good. So I'm going to work on something they call Preptober, which is prepping for that kind of extensive writing experience. So I will take you with and show you that. We will check in again here for our 10 weeks on Friday, and that should be the upcoming week. So if there is anything that you feel like you're missing from me and that you want to see, or that I have done in the past that I haven't done in a little while that you're interested in, that brought you here, please let me know. I am always interested in hearing what you guys like, what you don't like. I do know that this week someone challenged me to add chapters. So I am going to attempt to do that. Might be a little bit clunky at first because I have never added chapters to a YouTube video, but we're going to see how it works. And so that will be a skill that I will challenge myself with. I may even take you along when I do it. So we will see. Once I get a little bit familiar with it, I'll take you along. We'll figure it out, and you guys can see how that happens behind the scenes. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for making this such a fun experience. So even though I sit here and I talk about the fact that I've had a lot of technology struggles and I've had to do some pivoting and I've had to refilm things and sometimes it feels stressful, it doesn't change the fact that I am really having fun with this. I am enjoying coming on here every single day and sharing space with you guys. So that is the most important thing to me. Thank you so much for being here and for following me on this journey. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.